Brockman and Del Tufo are in their usual chairs. And same thing with T.J. Jefferson,
Hello, world.
who did exactly what all Cowboys fans were doing on Saturday night, celebrating a big-time finale to the end of the season, going momentum-filled into the playoffs, wondering where they would be seated, who would they be playing, and then also sitting there and talking about how prior to the season they essentially nailed mostly win-loss of the Cowboys record.
It's factual, my friend.
And at the same time, I was getting a text from another Cowboy friend and fan of mine, a Cowboy fan and friend of mine. We're fans of each other. Saying, hey, Rich, pull out that schedule run you and I did on your show. I think I said they would be 12-5 or 11-6. He wants some credit. Joining us here is that individual. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of my favorites, my game day compadre, Michael Irvin.
Only you
Yes, sir.
can describe the events so well, Rich.
Thank you, sir.
You better believe I texted right away. Hey, let's pull back out that schedule.
Now, the interesting thing is that this was done on June 24th, and the reason why I know the date is because it was my birthday, and you were kind enough to call into my show and wish me a happy birthday. And I said for my birthday, I would like you to run through the Cowboys schedule and predict win-losses. And you didn't want to do it. Like, I kind of dragged you doing it, and then you did it. Because I said it's for my birthday, because you didn't want to put any Ziggies on your team. We didn't know how Dak was going to be. Like, you didn't want to do it. We had no.
Right. The difficulty of it, not knowing where Dak would be. This could have been one of those. Well, is he going to miss the first 4 games?
Yep.
But we went by what they were saying, that he's on time, he's on pace, and everything's going to go well, and we assumed it did, and it did. So we went to work with it.
Okay, so I don't know how to handle this, but you said on that day, Michael, because the Cowboys finished 12-5, correct? That's what they finished? They finished 12-5, right?
That's what they finished.
Okay.
12-5.
You said you should we just go through it?
At worst,
let's just go through it.
11-6.
Okay.
I know I said 12-5.
All right. So you said that they would lose to the Bucs, and they did. And then you said that they would win every single game up to their bye, and they did.
And they did.
And then you said they'd come off the bye and they'd win at Minnesota, which they did. And
right, we saw Kansas City in there as a problem.
You then said that they'd beat Denver, and they didn't. But who the heck saw that one coming?
Me.
You said they. Oh, that's true. You did, TJ. Yeah, okay. All right. You did have them as a loss against Denver. So right now, TJ. You are one up on Irv.
Yes.
On this one. Okay. You both said they'd beat Atlanta. You both said they'd lose to Kansas City, and they did. And then you gave them wins on Thanksgiving. They didn't get that. Yeah. All right.
That's the deal. That's the deal.
You said that. Well, then you say they'd lose to New Orleans, and they won. You then, Irv, said they'd lose to the Washington football team, but at that time they were coming off a terrific season, and Ryan Fitzpatrick was coming, and I was with you too.
I thought Ryan would be there. That Ryan Fitzmagic will still won, along with that tradition of the Cowboys and Washington tradition of rivalry.
Yep. You did give him a win, TJ. Then you said they'd lose to the Giants, TJ. Michael correctly said they'd win against the Giants. And then the Washington football team, you both, you said that, Michael, they'd beat Arizona. TJ, you gave them a loss against Arizona. You got that one.
I just, some things I saw, Rich.
So, TJ, you had them go 11-6. You were off by 1. Irv, you then said, and I allowed this because I totally understood it, that it was a swinging gate in Week 18, a win against Philadelphia if you needed it and to start your starters, or a loss if Philadelphia was going to start their starters. So I'm going to give you the win there, and getting that correct. You had them go 13-4.
Oh, come on, man! I was 12-5.
I could give you the loss in but you were right there, man. But you had 13-4 could have been happening anyway too.
Most people predicted 9-8, so
that's true.
Yeah,
most right.
So we smashed that.
So listen, man. So I lost that Arizona game.
You basically, you said that was it. That was it.
Won that game.
That was
should have won that game. They would have been 13-4.
I know. I know. So let me ask you this question. If you could handpick the team you didn't want to see in the first round of the playoffs, would it have been the 49ers, Michael?
Absolutely. As soon as when we got there, I said, "Oh God, that's not the 49ers, man, not the 49ers." And you know, I got friends here, and they were texting me that I go on there with here. They were texting me, "Man, it's great. We got the 49ers over." I said, "The worst draw for us. The worst draw. The worst draw. I wanted San Fran to go knock off Green Bay or the Rams before they came through here, before we saw them. You know what I mean? Let me tell you why. The defense is an opportunistic defense, our opportunistic defense. Matt Stafford, if we had to see him, he'll give us something. I believe Kyler Murray, if we had to see him again, he would give us something. Kyle Shanahan best he can, puts lock and key on Jimmy G. And he's going to turn around and hand that ball off the best he can to keep a lock and key on Jimmy G. You see what I mean? And it worries me. And we saw what the team, what Philly did running the ball against Dallas, even half man or half staff or whatever half you want to call, they were running their football. And so yeah, this is probably the worst matchup. That Dallas offense doesn't get a chance to kind of get into playoff mode. They have to start quick to try to help this defense eliminate that run game by Dallas offense scoring points.
And Debo, too, coming downhill.
Don't even mention Debo Samuel, who I believe, and I've said earlier in this year, that they could easily put him in contention for MVP if Kyle Shanahan continued to overuse him. You know, this dude has MVP-like talent, man. What a phenomenal year he's had.
I know, and he's got the Niners logo and the number 19 on his thigh pads, and he just comes downhill and he hits you, and he doesn't care. I love the way he plays football, and so
between the tackles too, Rich. You know, they started running between the tackles. I mean, I'm on you know. I don't. All those holes are too tiny for me to be even thinking about running up there. But when I see a receiver like that. And he is a receiver. I can't call him a running back that's playing receiver because most running backs can't track balls like this dude track balls. You know what I'm saying? Down the field and everything. He's really a phenomenal talent, man. It's been great to watch.
All right, so then let's give your team some run then. What do the Cowboys do to win this one? What gives you the sense that they can match the physicality? Is the phrase I'm sure we'll be using all weekend long. What do you got?
Yeah, right. And here's my issue, Rich, because I'm worried that both sides of the ball on the line, the Cowboys struggle here. The Cowboys will struggle on both sides. That offensive line, the Dallas offensive line going up against the San Fran's defensive line. George Boat's playing the way he's playing. That could be tough. They got to be ready for this. They got to be prepared for this. Dallas defensive line going up against this run-heavy 49ers offensive line when Dallas really have a bunch of dudes that want to get to the quarterback. These ain't the kind of dudes just want to tackle the runner all day. They want to get to the quarterback. But San Fran, they come downhill running that football. So that's going to be tough. So Dallas offense has to light it up. You can't come back. Dallas is not going to outrun the football better than San Fran. But Dallas can throw the ball better than San Fran. They have to come out and light it up. And it's so crazy because we've been talking about Dak Prescott so much. This has to be a Dak game.
It's got to be a Dak game. Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, he did those. Honestly, that was the B team for Philadelphia, and I know we talked about it on Sunday's game day morning.
Yeah.
You know, that was the B team. You know, the Washington game is the one that I'd hang my hat on, but then Arizona's game happened. You know, and Chandler Jones is that physical type guy in the NFC West that that kind of blew things up a little bit to hear him.
Right.
You know,
It
Isaiah
blew it up.
Simmons and
Blew it up for us. And man, I'm telling you, that defensive line for San Fran is a problem. That's going to be a problem. And that whole Tyron, all of them are at their best because you know what I would love to see, Rich? The young Dallas offensive line going up against this defensive line.
Right.
You know, when Zach and Tyron and all of those guys were young and going up against that young Bosa, we have something. You'll have something right there. But it'll be interesting to see as is.
Michael Irvin, what's your memories of your Cowboys-Niners days? Walk me through that. What do you got for me?
Man, there's so many.
I know.
So many. Like you know, I think about when we were getting ready to go down there and play in '92 and at the first championship game, and everybody around here was talking about the catch, what happened, man, the catch. And then, you know, as we're going playing San Francisco over there, Alvin Harper makes a long catch down the sideline. That becomes our catch. You know, that becomes our catch, the catch. Or I think about the game where we're throwing this 396 is the route. 396. I got an out. Jay has it down the middle. Alvin curls right where the spot that Jay Lee's running down the field on the 9 route. We had thrown that ball 3 times in the game, and every time they threw it to Alvin Harper. And now it's third down. The game is on the line. We tried this pass to Alvin Harper and hadn't completed it. When Troy called the play, he said, "Step right, 3-9." Well, all I heard was the 3 and the 9, and I shot out to Alvin route. Boom, I'm gone. And everybody looking at me, I said, "Run the play. I'm running hard. Run the play." And that's when, you know, Troy was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Run the darn play right now. Let's run the play because I'm going to get this ball. I'm about to be a hero. I'm about to save this day, and we're going to win this game and go win the Super Bowl." Troy snaps the ball. They rotate the coverage to me. On the curl route, Troy looks at me and then turns backside and throws that ball to Alvin Harper. Alvin runs about 70 yards, and I'm sitting there saying, "Look how hard I run with my football." And that's when Troy walks by me, and he's pointing and said, "That's what you get. You should have stuck to the play." And I was like, "Oh, no. I'm trying to be the hero," and I made him the hero by taking his spot, and he took mine. Those things you'll never forget because it's all in-game stuff. When everybody's just trying to win, you know, we're just trying to win, and we were able to have a little fun. And the guys, they mess with me about that every time.
So Aikman is like, that's what you get. You know, you don't get the champ.
That's what you get. Yeah. That's what you get. You should have stuck to the play. And he running right by me laughing. It was
that is so
funny.
funny.
The greatest thing in the world, man. It's the greatest thing.
Oh, my gosh.
The song came out, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Run the damn play." Like that shit I made an executive defense in him. Run that play. You know, it was crazy.
And what about your battles? What about your battles with the Eddie Robinson Award winner for best coach for Coach of the Year in Deion Sanders? What about those days, Irv?
Man, and I'm so happy for Deion.
Right.
You know, oh my God, you know, we shoot a commercial tomorrow, Deion and I. So you know.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we have a commercial to shoot tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
You know,
Thursday and Friday.
You know, he wants to be called Cody Prime. That's what he says. Refer to him as Cody Prime because Cody stands for Coach of the Year. So call him Cody Prime.
Cody Prime.
Cody
I like
Prime.
That, man. I'm so happy for him.
When he got his new hair, he was comeback player of the year. Now he's Cody Prime. That's what he is.
I didn't hear that one. The comeback player.
Yeah, that's what he referred to himself as comeback player of the year when he got his new hair.
He said he's a new dude, man. He's a new dude. You see, times he's steady snatching them now. He's been snatching them up.
Yes,
he's been getting players that other people sign, but time comes in and does his sell job. And hey, man, those players, you know, they go with time. I'm so happy for him and just the job he's done, even recruiting, man. And I'm telling you, he loves what he's doing. He loves where he is.
I know.
I come through the airport, and I have no joke. I got guys that I see coming through the airport, man, and they always tell me, "Man, tell Deion, thank you, man." Rich, you guys, we look at the football. I got a lot of people from Jackson, Mississippi, man. They tell me all the time. They say, Michael, you don't know how much he's affecting the whole area. It's one of the highest crime rates and all that, man. He says, Deion is affecting everything. You know, and they just said, man, just tell him thank you, man. Just tell him thank you for what he's doing and how he's doing it. So I'm just so happy for him.
So that's better than we could talk about him and how great he is and all day, but, you know, are you doing that so you don't talk about him in that championship game for the Niners against you?
Oh, no. The game they won?
Yeah. Is that what it is?
I remember some pass interference that didn't get
Well,
called.
I mean,
that's just me.
We had a very heated segment on NFL Network one year. Heated, where the two of them got up and recreated it. I remember that, Irvin. It got a little awkward, didn't it? Got a little awkward on live television.
Yeah, every time you see me, he said, hey, I thought we worked through this. I thought you got to let that go. I said, wait a minute. I know we worked through this. I know we worked through this. So he's always trying to tell me, man, y'all got to let that go. That's over, man. That was not. I said, that's a PI time. He said, there was no flag on the ground. You know, he just loves to laugh about that moment, man. But what a great game. What a great game that was.
Irv, this is TJ. I'm looking at the stats of that game, and something just jumped at me that I never knew.
The records that I broke in that game?
You had 12 for $192 and 2 touchdowns, which is unbelievable.
Which was the NFC Championship game record at the time?
Yes, sir. But Troy Aikman threw 53 passes that game. You had 26 targets.
Wow. Really?
I've never seen anything. You had 26 targets.
Like that either.
Well, actually, the only time we've ever seen 26 targets in Candlestick was when Mooch targeted Tio that many times on Jerry Rice Day.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Don't you ever mess with my story like that. Tell them about all them third targets. All we were focused on was that there was an NFC Championship game record. You stay right there. Don't you ever bury that lead, bringing the targets up and diminishing the receiving records. Don't you do that. That's one time you just let that slide. Let that target thing slide. Don't mention that.
12 for $192 and 2 touchdowns.
Man, memory lane.
Targets, you just snatched my glory away.
Oh, you know that wasn't my.
No, it's not his intent.
And that coverage, what it was, they would put time on me. If they didn't have time on me, they double teamed me, and they made time stop Alvin Harper or somebody on the other side. Stop the receiver on the other side. That's why on that curl route, I said, I'm running over here. I'm going to go run this curl. I catch this curl route on Deion. I catch curl route on anybody. Because curl route, I'm just going to body you up and play defense. I'm playing basketball. I'm going to go down here 12, 13 yards, and I'm going to put this big booty on you, buddy, and it's going to take something to come around me.
Tight.
If you come around me, it'll be surely pass interference. It's going to take something to come around me so I can get that curl route.
The tight. That's how you do it in the tight. That's what Michael calls now the playoff time, the tight.
That's what, hey, Rich, you got to explain this to people.
Yeah.
I was telling them what the playoffs are. You watch players because you see players in the regular season, go, wow, and you'll see those same players in the playoffs, and they don't play the same. Why is this? You do a study on why is this. And it's not that his skill set has diminished in it. It's how does he handle those pressure situations, and those pressure moments. So, and we call them, I call it the tight, because in the playoffs, everybody booty is so tight. Everybody booty is tight. It's tight booty time. So it is the tight. Can you perform in the midst of the tight? That will determine if you are a winner or if you're going home. How do you perform in the tight? That's what this playoff's about.
Michael Irvin.
Hey, tight like Nat Booty.
Love you, sir. I'll see you in a couple days. Take care.
All right, guys. Looking forward.
That's Michael Irvin. Game day morning, by the way, at noon Eastern on Saturday for 4.5 hours, and then 9 a.m. Eastern regular time on Sunday for 4 hours. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.